Today, I'm calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for the next 90 days.
So gas prices are hovering around $5 a gallon, which is significantly more expensive than they were this time last year. There's currently a federal gas tax of 18 cents per gallon on gasoline and 24 cents per gallon on diesel. So that money all goes into like a highway trust fund. It's crucial for spending on repairing roads, building new highways, repairing bridges. It's one of the most essential pots of infrastructure money that we have left. So President Biden is talking about a 3-month holiday for drivers from the federal gas tax. So basically, during the summer season, when gas prices traditionally bump up in the summer, and especially now with a lot of pent-up demand for travel, the idea was to give people a break on what they're paying for gas.
We can bring down the price of gas and give families just a little bit of relief.
Obviously, the problem is it's not clear that if they make this gas tax holiday, that the savings will actually go to consumers, or they may just go to the big oil companies.
The fact is that no president alone can control the price of gasoline, and we need more players at the table. So the president's asking Congress to act, he's asking states to act, he's asking the oil and gas industry to do their part as well.
Economists and oil industry analysts generally agree that the way for gas prices to come down is people need to drive less. So in this case, what happens is if you give this 18 cents per gallon or 24 cents per diesel gallon holiday, it sends a signal to drivers that we're bringing the prices down, and then they go out and they keep driving and they drive more, and that puts more pressure on the refineries to keep refining more, and the supply gets tighter and tighter. And ultimately, the refineries just raise their prices, and then the savings from these, this gas tax holiday just winds up making its way to them and not to drivers. The White House did make a projection on what this would cost if they do this 3-month holiday. The figure they came out with was $10 billion. The problem, of course, is that all of this takes the consent of Congress. Congress is really not that interested in this.
We're paying for something to give a break to the oil companies that isn't even going to the consumer. So that's the con. The pro is very showbiz. Okay, let's just do something, there it is. But it is not necessarily landing in the pocket of the consumer.
The Biden White House was not clear on where exactly that $10 billion was going to come from. So the president has very few options for actions that would lower gas prices.
Now, I fully understand that a gas tax holiday alone is not going to fix the problem.
One thing he's tried is taking oil out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That we have 1 million barrels of oil a day coming out of the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. But, that's been going on since soon after the war started, and the prices have been just going up and up. And so that hasn't stopped gas prices from going. The other thing the president tried to do is relaxing the rules on how much ethanol you can blend into gas. That had a negligible effect. The president's out there talking about, he may use emergency powers, or he could, to force more refinery production. But the problem is the refineries are producing everything they can right now.
The problem is what they've done is they've cut back on refining. And they say because they don't want to get caught in a position where eventually they're going to move to alternative energy, renewable energy, and they don't want to get stuck. Well, guess what? There's a logical transition to be made.
And so that leaves him just with very little. And that's how we wound up with this gas tax holiday, which there's real skepticism that it would even help. But it just shows you just how weak a hand that the White House has to play in, when it comes to trying to lower gas prices.
I promise you I'm doing everything possible to bring the price of energy down, gas prices down. And I want to make sure we all work on this together.